Ranger. Hi-Yo Silver! A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver. The Lone Ranger.
On a day in early spring, young Matt Lake waited quietly in the office of Warden Carl Dawes for the papers that would mark his final release from prison. After serving 4 long years for armed robbery, he was to be a free man again.
Well, Matt, I guess that covers everything. Just give this to the guard on your way out.
Thanks, Warden.
I understand you're going back to Big Rock.
Yes, sir.
Your father will be glad to see you.
Will he? I wonder.
Matt, maybe it's none of my business, but what's the trouble between you and your dad?
You're right, Warden. It is none of your business.
I don't understand it. You've had all the advantages. A good home, money enough, education. And yet you joined the Midnight Gang and ended here a common thief. Why?
Those days are over. What difference does it make now?
I hope they really are, Matt. I know what it did to Sheriff Jim Lake when he had to arrest his own son.
Look, Warden, I'd like to be on my way if you're through with me.
All right. You're free to go anytime you want. The horse your father sent you is waiting at the gate. Well, Matt, just to tie a lot of loose ends together, you wouldn't care to tell me who the leader of the Midnight Gang really is, would you?
You know, I kind of wondered when you'd bring that up again. It's been quite a while since you asked me that question.
It's been quite a while since the gang was operating. We just had word that they started again, and they're worse than ever. They'll turn this territory into a wasteland if we don't stop them. Already the settlers are leaving.
Then let the law do something about it. It's not my problem.
If we could capture the leader, we could do away with the whole rotten outfit. You worked for the man, Matt. Tell us who he is and where he is.
Warden,
Are you afraid of him, son? Is that it?
No.
Then
I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I go now.
You've served your sentence, Matt. All right, mister. He's gone.
Thank you, Warden.
I hope I've asked the right questions. You heard what he said?
Perfectly. And I want you to know how much we appreciate your cooperation.
Why, any lawman of the West would be glad to cooperate with a Lone Ranger and Tonto.
Do you think young man tell truth when him say him through with crime?
I wish I knew. Obviously, you think he lied.
Not necessarily.
But you told me this morning that you intended to follow him when he left here. I know you've been trying to track down the leader of the Midnight Gang for weeks. Surely you must expect Matt to contact him again.
I said I wanted to keep my eye on Matt, Warden. From the information we've been able to gather, the person we're after is one of the smartest, deadliest outlaws in the West. He's been able to keep his identity a secret for years. But now, one of the few men alive who could expose him is free again.
I see what you mean. You think he may try to contact Matt.
Exactly.
Kimisami. Boy, just leave. Head south.
Let's go, Tonto.
Oh, mister, have you no clue at all as to who this mysterious leader may be?
I think he may be a respected citizen in Big Rock. And right now, he's probably a very worried citizen.
I don't see why you should be so panicky, Doc. So Matt Lake is being released today. If he was going to squeal, he would have done it by now. Maybe he's aiming to come back in the gang. We could use him.
Of course we could use him. I've been counting on his return for months. But I've also read his letters to my granddaughter. Matt's still in love with Janie, and a man in love can get very noble. He's sworn to go straight from now on. He's through with the gang.
Funny that the sheriff's son would join with a bunch like us in the first place.
That's where you're wrong, Menard. It wasn't funny, it was inevitable. Jim Lake expected his son to be like himself, above suspicion. I've watched Matt grow up. Always held in. Always the good little boy. But I knew he'd break sooner or later, and when he did, I was waiting for him. I needed somebody who would tell us every move the sheriff would make. But more than that, I needed Matt's youth, his brains, his ability to plan and carry a job through.
Well, personally, I think we ought to shoot him and be done with it. Things are getting too hot around this area for me anyhow. I could dry gulch him and beat it up north.
What good would he do the gang dead? Can't you get it through that thick skull of yours that I need those abilities of his? Together, Matt and I could take over this entire territory. Huh? If there was only some way I could bring him back into the outfit. Wait a minute. Maybe there is a way.
Now what?
What do you suppose would happen, Menard, if Matt were to kill a man?
Why, his dad would track him down if he had to go to the end of the earth. Sheriff Lake is batty on the subject of Matt going straight.
Right. And Matt knows that.
So?
So? We'll arrange to have Matt commit a murder.
What kind of a crazy idea is that? Why, when the sheriff found that out...
Sheriff Lake won't know anything about it. And with a murder rap hanging over his head, Matt'll have to get back into the gang for protection.
All right, who does he kill?
You.
Me? Now, look, Doc, if you try and...
Don't be a fool, Menard. He won't actually kill you. He'll only think he has. Here. Take the bullets out of a few of these cartridges. Load the gun with them.
Oh, I get it. Take the slug and the powder out of this. When the cap goes off, it'll sound like a real bullet and nobody be hurt.
Right.
That's good.
Then I'll ride out along the North Road and meet Matt before he gets to town. I'll tell him you're out to get him. You two never did hit it off. Then I'll bring him back here to the house. Now, when he gets here...
After leaving the prison, Matt Lake had continued to ride steadily southward toward the town of Big Rock, unaware that the Lone Ranger and Tonto were keeping him constantly in sight. At last, 2 hours later, Matt drew rein within sight of his home for the first time in 4 years.
Big Rock, not so far from here, King Sabine. We split up now?
Yes, I'm not known in this town. There'd be too many questions about my mask. I noticed a stream over there, the other side of those trees. I'll make camp there.
Meet you at sundown.
Good luck.
Well, if it isn't the good doctor. You know, I kind of figured you'd be the first one to greet me.
I wanted to see you before you reach town, Matt.
Yeah?
Matt, I've been reading your letters to Janie about quitting the gang. Did you mean it?
Every word.
You put me in a difficult position. You know an awful lot.
Listen, what I know I aim to keep to myself. From now on, I'm strictly on my own, Doc. Do whatever you want in this territory. I'll never turn you in. I don't plan to bother anybody, and nobody better bother me. I don't need a soul, Doc.
Well, boy, I just wanted to be sure how you stood. Frankly, I think you're making a mistake. I always planned on your coming back with me and helping me work out a job the way you always did.
Not a chance.
Then we'll both go our own ways? No hard feelings?
That's about the size of it. I plan to marry Janie and take her to California. I'm going to forget I was ever mixed up with you.
Matt, I didn't mean to tell you this, but I like you too much to see you hurt.
What do you mean?
Joe Menard's out to kill you.
Menard?
Yep. I saw him last week. Ever since you went to prison, he's been expecting you to tell the law that he was in on that holdup you pulled.
He ought to know me better than that.
I suggest you come over to my place. I'll see if he's in town, and then you can...
I'd counted on seeing my dad.
Well, you can do that later. After all, you got Janie to think of.
Yeah, you're right. I can't get into trouble now.
Come on. Come on in, Matt.
I don't like this sneaking around like a scared calf, Doc.
No harm in playing it safe. Menard may be 100 miles away. Then again, he may be in town waiting.
I guess you're right.
But you're perfectly safe here.
Who's that?
Keep quiet.
Grandfather, Matt.
Why, it's Janie.
Janie.
Oh, Matt.
Hello, Janie.
I thought I'd come by for Grandfather and we'd go out to the edge of town to meet you. And then I saw the horse your father sent standing outside.
Janie, you ought to be at the schoolhouse.
I dismissed the class. I couldn't teach knowing Matt was on his way home.
Oh, you should have waited.
Well, what's the matter with you two? Aren't you glad to see me?
I've never been so glad to see anyone in my life. But your grandfather's right. Right now, he and I have something important to talk over. It has a lot to do with you and me. You go back to the schoolhouse. And I'll come over as soon as I can.
That's right, Janie. Go back to the schoolhouse.
If that's what you want, Matt. You know your father's awfully anxious to see you.
Yes, I know, and I'm just as anxious to see him. I'll see him in a little while.
Well,
Goodbye, Janie.
goodbye, Matt.
You don't suppose Menard would have enough sense to follow her here, do you?
No. You're all right. Just be quiet. We won't do anything till we're sure she isn't coming back. Then I'll take a look around town for Menard.
Sheriff Lake.
Why, Janie, what's the matter?
Sheriff, Matt's in town.
My son in town? Why, that's fine. Oh, where is he? Is he with you?
No, he's at Grandfather's house.
Oh, but I thought he'd come here first.
Maybe I'm being silly, Sheriff, but something's wrong.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know exactly, but he's acting so strange, as if he were afraid of something.
Your grandfather's house, you say?
I have the buggy right outside.
Good.
Oh, nobody's coming, Doc. Menard always was a big talker. I think I'll be on my way.
Wait. Wouldn't be wise to leave now. Did you hear someone in the other room?
Menard!
Yes, Menard. I came in through the back way. You start saying your prayers, Matt. Doc?
Matt, quick! The table, Sergeant.
Doc, I'll kill you.
Come on! Hurry, man, I can't hold him any longer. Hurry, man. Dad, give me the gun. Dad.
So you couldn't stay out of trouble, Matt? Get out of my way, Janie.
He's your own son, Sheriff.
He's a murderer. I'll take a report on how this happened later. Right now, I'm going after my boy.
Come on, get up. The gun.
Now we're in a fine mess. When the sheriff comes back, he's going to expect to find a body.
He has no reason to doubt the word of a reputable doctor. He'll believe the story I'll tell him. Come on now, stop worrying. If necessary, I can even seal up a coffin and go through with a burial. Now get downstairs and stay out of sight until sundown. After it's dark, you can leave and nobody will see you.
What's happened, Tonto?
Me follow Matt Lake into plenty trouble, Kimasabi. Sheriff think him mixed up in murder.
Murder? Has he killed someone?
Doctor named Owens make it look that way. But when Sheriff ride off after Matt, me see other fella get up and talk to doctor. Him not hurt, Kimasabi.
You mean Matt was framed?
Gun him use make noise, but not fire bullet.
Where's Matt now?
Him run away when Sheriff come. Me follow but lose trail in mountains. Him wounded by Sheriff. Him not get too far.
The sheriff has gone after him, I suppose.
And me not know where Sheriff is.
We must find Matt before his father does. Since he was wounded, he'll probably head for one of the caves. If Matt believes himself to be a murderer, he'll never allow his father to take him alive.
But how we find him in mountains? There are many caves there. And Matt take another gun with him when he run away. Me bet that one not loaded with blanks.
All the more reason why we must be the first to reach him.
Ah.
The warden told me that Matt hoped to marry a girl named Janie Owens when he returned to Big Rock. They were childhood sweethearts. She may know his secret hiding places. Come on, Tonto, let's go talk to Miss Owens.
There's schoolhouse and buggy, Kimasabi.
While I'm talking to Miss Owens, you'd better keep an eye on the doctor's house. Everything you've told me points to Dr. Owens as the man we're after.
Me see that Menard not leave house, Kimasabi. Me hide by barn.
Good. Don't be alarmed, Miss Owens. I'm not here to harm you.
But you're wearing a mask.
My mask has always stood for law and order. I want to do what I can to save Matt Lake.
Who are you? How did you know Matt was in trouble?
I'll explain all that later. Right now, it's absolutely necessary that I learn where Matt's hiding.
Matt does need help. There's no one else I can turn to. For some reason, I feel I can trust you.
Matt was wounded, Miss Owen. His trail leads to the mountains. Now, there are dozens of caves up there. It occurred to me that Matt might have had a favorite, one that he played in as a child.
The Pirate's Cave, of course.
The Pirate's Cave?
That's what we called it when we were little. I'm sure that's where he's gone. If you really want to help,
Believe me, I do.
I'll take you there.
It's hard to tell what frame of mind Matt will be in, Miss Owens. I'd better talk to him alone first. Now, if you'll just draw me a map.
All right.
Soon afterward, with Janie's map as a guide, the Lone Ranger headed toward the distant mountains, and within 15 minutes had reached the vicinity of the Pirate's Cave.
Matt Lake, are you in there?
Keep away from me, mister. I'm warning you.
Matt, listen to me. You haven't killed anyone. The bullet you used was a blank. It was a frame-up on the part of Dr. Owens. Do you understand?
Is that the best yarn you can dream up, mister?
It's true, Matt.
I told you to stay away, and I meant it.
Matt, I'm going back to town. When I return, I'll bring Menard with me. You can see him with your own eyes. Right now, your father's looking for you. I don't know where he is, but if he should get here before I get back, promise me you'll not do anything foolish.
Mister, I wouldn't promise a nickel to a dying beggar. Now, vamos!
Tiny, Kimasabi, you find Matt Lake?
Yes, Tonto, but he didn't believe me when I explained what had happened. I told him I'd bring Menard to the cave in person. Anything new happened here?
No one leave house. Girl come to house about 10 minutes ago, then drive off in buggy.
What direction did she take?
Head toward mountain.
I was afraid of that. Sheriff Lake's no fool. Sooner or later, he's bound to come to the same conclusion we did, that Matt's in one of those caves, and that Janie Owens knows which cave it is.
Then Sheriff follow girl.
Exactly. Neither Matt nor his father is in a position to think clearly now. We haven't a moment to lose. Now, this is what I want you to do.
Doc,
What are you doing here? I told you to stay in the cellar.
you're through telling me what to do. I went along with your crazy scheme to try and get Matt to come back into the gang, but it didn't work. I'm getting out of here while the getting's good.
Stay where you are.
Look, Doc, the party's over. I happened to be listening when Janie was dropped by a while ago to tell you about the masked man stopping in to speak to her. Maybe you don't know who he is, but I do. I've heard about him, and I don't want him on my trail.
I know who he is, all right. And I know how to defeat him.
Really, Owen? How?
What's the matter with you, Doc? The game's up.
For you, Menard, I'm afraid it might be.
What do you mean?
The gentleman in the mask asked me a question, and I intend to answer it.
You haven't a chance, Owen.
I think I do. You see, I think you need Menard alive.
Doc.
So it's becoming clear, is it? If I were to pull this trigger, there'd be a real body to prove that Matt was a murderer. And Matt would hang. You wouldn't like that, would you, mister?
Are you trying to bargain with me, Owen?
I am. Now, mister, drop your gun.
Good work, Tonto. You stay here with Owen. I'll take Menard to the Pirate's Cave.
You think you'll be in time, Kimasabi?
I hope so, Tonto. Get going, Menard. And don't forget, I've got this gun on you every second.
A short time later, Janie Owens, having left her buckboard on the road below, made her way on foot toward the Pirate's Cave.
Matt! Matt, are you in there?
Janie!
Don't move, Janie. So I finally found you, Matt. I remembered you'd played in one of these caves when you were little. Figured if I followed Janie, she'd lead me here.
Stay back, Dad.
You've broken the law again, Matt. You'll have to pay.
The law. That's all you ever cared about, isn't it?
Don't make it harder on me than it already is.
Oh, Matt, come out. You'll have a fair trial. There's a masked man who promised me he'd help you.
Help me? That's a laugh. Nobody helps anybody else in this world, Janie. Nobody.
Oh, Matt, please.
Save your breath, Janie. I'm coming after you, Matt.
I told you to stay back. One more step, Dad, and I'll let you have it. Sheriff! Matt, wait!
Wait, it's the masked man. And Sheriff, look.
It's Menard, alive.
Are you all right, son?
It'll be all right, Dad.
Oh, Matt.
But I thought he was dead.
You're not imagining things, Sheriff. He's alive, all right. I have reason to believe he's a member of the Midnight Gang. But your son should know more about that.
But I don't understand. You wear a mask, and yet...
I realize there are many questions in your mind, Sheriff. I'll try to answer them all on the way back to town. Right now, we'd better bandage Matt's shoulder and get this fellow into a jail cell.
Well, that's the end of the Midnight Gang. Menard has given me enough information on the rest of the gang to hang them all a dozen times over.
I'm sorry you ever had to find the truth out about Dr. Owens, Jenny.
When I think of all the terrible things he was responsible for, the murders, the robberies, oh, Matt, those things must never happen in this territory again. I want you to testify against him in court.
Yes, Janie, I will. I realize now that none of us can live entirely alone. Maybe I do care what happens to this territory, to all of the West. You know what I mean, mister.
Yes, I know what you mean, Matt.
I'll never be able to thank you enough for what you did for me today. Dad, I'd like to kind of stay in this town, and maybe someday you could make me a deputy sheriff.
Sure, Matt, sure. You know, I learned quite a lot myself today. I found out that there was something a good deal more important than the law, and that's justice. Examining the facts and listening to both sides. I've made plenty of mistakes, but that won't happen again, thanks to the masked man.
Why, he's gone.
Yes, he's gone. There may be someone else who needs him now.
Who is he, Sheriff?
I should have known him the first moment I saw him.
Wait a minute. A masked man on a white horse?
That's right, Matt. He's a Lone Ranger.